I'm going to sum up now about the HP Omen, and it really comes down to two things. I really like the look of this thing. The performance isn't bad. It's got a really good CPU in there, 6 cores, 12 threads. Now, the fact that it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM upsets me personally. It will be absolutely fine for any current class of gaming you can do. Similarly, the 1060 GTX graphics card that's in there, more than adequate for really good 1080p high def gaming. I'm talking things like PuBG, I'm talking things like Fortnite. I'm saying that this is a damn good gaming laptop to pick up. Now, the RGB keyboard and the layout of the keyboard, to me, need a bit of... They are brilliant. HP, if you're listening to me, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about what you're doing wrong with these, because you've got this lovely feel. Now, it is... I don't know, is it plastic? No, it's metal. So this is metal. See, it's that convincing, but it's that close to the mark. You're not sure if everything's metal or everything's plastic. So this is all plastic around the bevel. Obviously, you've got a webcam and microphone there that are more than adequate for 1080p webcamming, for recording you, things like this. It's perfectly fine for. But then the body here is all metal. This is all metal. It's lovely, and it curves in. You can see the angle here below the spacebar where it curves in. You can see it's nicely designed to give you a full-sized, plus these function keys. These are programmable function keys. Really good. But then these are plastic, and they sound horrible and they feel horrible. So working on this as a workstation machine, which is what I personally use it for first before a gaming machine, it isn't ideal. So I'd personally want a better keyboard and more memory. Okay, but gaming wise, absolutely perfect, really good. I like the WASD. I like the fact that because the keys are smaller at the top row and then before, your hand sits here. I know this is my right hand and it should be my left, but bear with me. Your hand sits, it doesn't hit. Look, I've got plenty of space to use WASD really comfortably from this angle. That's roughly the right angle for the other hand from the left hand, without touching the keypad. I would have liked a way of disabling it more easily. There isn't one here. Function and something to turn off the trackpad would have been really good for when I'm gaming, because I game with a mouse. So I have a gaming mouse. And then that brings me to the chassis problem of the charging cable, which goes in here. Look at that. So I'm gaming, my hand's over here holding the mouse, and that's right in the way. It's right in the way all the time. That's a bigger problem to me than the keyboard being a bit rubbish. And I wish this light would stay out of the way. So yeah, big brick power supply, but beautiful chassis. It does hold a few fingerprints. You can see here there's fingerprints. You can just get them off really easily. It's no big deal. It's steel. It wipes clean. The top lid is beautiful. The look of the screen, it's not on right now, but absolutely crystal clear. And it's really nicely lit. It really nicely sits together. Okay. The quality and feel of the screen is beautiful. Obviously this is only a 720p camera and I'm upscaling it to make this video, but it's a really nice screen. Now, air intake is coming in here, it comes out there, and it runs hot. Okay, this machine runs very hot. When I'm gaming on it, it's pretty loud. I wouldn't recommend putting it on your knee to game in front of the TV. So it's not that kind of machine. It has to have a bit of raised clearance here. These are raised edges that I'm touching. Can you just see? See, these are raised bevel edges. And so that's to lift it up to let air go in through these vents and blow out of those vents. It doesn't get massively hot on the bottom of the case, even under high workload. This is obviously carbon steel, or carbon fiber rather. That's what I think this is. It's really nice. It's like a textured fabricy feel. This is plastic, but it's brushed this way. This is all just plastic, but it's textured. This is textured differently to this. The sound isn't bad. The Bang & Olufsen speakers aren't bad. They aren't the best. I personally have a pair of headphones. The Bluetooth is okay. The wireless is fine. Plugging it into a wired connection though, it needs a push down. It's a bit rubbish. There's plenty of I/O here though. We've got so from this side the Kensington lock. We've got a mini display port. We've got a full size HDMI, Ethernet. We've got a powered USB 3, USB-C, microphone and headphones, and then there's a SD card slot. And then on the other side, which is the one hampered by the power, so this is the custom power connector. It is a custom power connector, it's not just USB-C, and then there's 2 more USB ports. So that's good in terms of plugging in my wireless mouse connector, but not brilliant for the power being in the way. Performance-wise, the Unigine Heaven benchmark on ultra maximum settings got a maximum frame rate of 34 frames a second. It could boost slightly faster than that sometimes on others. I will put some of these up in a moment. I've recorded lots of this over the last 6 months, but I'm trying to just give you a quick 10-minute version of this video because this is the version that will go on Amazon with the unit. So this is a unit I have had free for review from the Amazon Vine custom review program. Now, even though it was free, I'm trying to give you my honest opinion of it, and that is that it's a damn good gaming laptop, but it weighs a ton. It's got very little memory, and it's odd in the keyboard, so it's not a brilliant work machine. It's not a productivity machine as I would have it. Now, I use this as a secondary productivity machine in this room while I'm doing my big PC rebuild. This will be my main driver. It's been a daily driver laptop for the last 6 months. I travelled with it, went to the US, but this is too heavy, too big to put in cabin luggage. So this went in my main luggage and was fine. It survived, absolutely no problem. I did choose a large Amazon brand polyurethane case to go with it because it doesn't come with anything that comes in there. The power supply is a huge brick. So if I pull it up, it has got so we're on the kettle lead. I'll disconnect the kettle lead. So that is the power supply. So you've got this big brick of a power supply, and I didn't like that feels really awkward. I'd much like that to be a straight line. I can understand that they're trying to make it so it wraps easily and goes into your bag, but no, I'd rather the cable came out the side, and was flat flush to the body that way, rather than having this bit of give, because that little bit of give just inviting danger to me. I don't like it. This doesn't get very warm. It's fine when it's being used. It's nice and cool. It's a 230 watt power supply. When you're gaming, you have to be tethered to the wall. You just have to be. There's no if, buts, or maybes. You get an hour of gaming time on this. And even doing productivity stuff, because of the size of the screen and because of the 12 cores, you do not get a huge battery life out of it. The most I got was 3 hours doing very basic compiles. So they are, fair enough, but Visual Studio stuff, 3 hours. You could get a little bit more, maybe 4, doing just office stuff, but it burns through its battery really quickly. And the final thing, its biggest Achilles heel. So HP, reach out to me about, this beautiful chassis being hobbled with this horrible keyboard, but also, what were you thinking with the storage? So storage, the long-term storage, the disks, we have 2 in here. We have a 1 terabyte HGST 2.5-inch hard drive, physical, old style, spinning rust, platters hard drive. It's 1 terabyte, but it's still an old style hard drive. So you're mixing this brilliant piece of tech with that really old piece of tech. Now it's HGST, really good brand, really good drive. It does perform okay in what it's trying to do. The other drive, the main drive, the boot drive, the drive on which your operating system is installed, which annoys me, is an SSD. It's a 128 gigabyte SSD. It means it boots really well. You saw me turn it on and boot it earlier in this video. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But it's tiny. It's tiny. What were you thinking, HP? What were you thinking? So I've put, the operating system's taken a quarter of that disk already. Put a bit of productivity software on there, that's another quarter gone. Put a game on, it's full. You know, I put PuBG on this hard drive, it's full. I can't fit any other game on there with it, so I can't put World of Warships on there with it. You know, I can't put more than one title at a time on that fast storage. Now that means I'm either swapping games on and off the main storage in some unearthly manner, you know, copying them in and out of the Steam folders, which is just hugely inefficient, or I'm going to have to run them off the 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive, and hence run them slightly slower and off peak. And that's not brilliant. And I don't know why they thought about it that way. I don't know. Why do this machine all this work, all this beautiful, beautiful work, this really nicely packaged chassis, just to lumber it with inadequate storage? If it was a 500 gigabyte SSD, which cost 50 quid, I've got two here. That one's a bit more. That's 90 quid's worth. That's 50 quid's worth. Yeah, in an £1,100 laptop, I'd have put one of these in. Okay, it's penny pinching where it wasn't required. Yeah, the 1 terabyte drive is fine for productivity work, for doing your video edits or anything like that, for collecting gameplay footage. This is a good platform for that kind of work, but it's not the perfect platform. Now, that said, you can pop these screws off. This one here, pop them off, run a guitar pick or a proper opener around the outside. The bottom pops off and you can swap. There's a single DIMM in here, single 8 gigabyte DIMM. You can add a second one for like 40 quid. So I don't know what they were thinking. They could have put more RAM, they could have put better and different storage in there, and it would have been perfect. That's how important this is. This is a 4-star review because this laptop is nearly perfect. Yeah, it's a bit heavy compared to other laptops, compared to my ThinkPad, but that's not what this is for. This is for chunking through some work. It's for looking the bling. It's for playing a game, and that's why I took it abroad. It's been to America with me and come back. I played games on this, and it worked really well, and it looks fantastic. And it's, look, I've had this for 6 months, and you can see there's no marks on it, there's no bits and bobs on it. It's heavy, it's a piece of kit. You know you've spent 1,100 quid when you hold this thing up, but it's just not got the right storage. I personally don't like the keyboard. It needs a better keyboard. The power is in the wrong place. That power cord is in the wrong place. But it's got fabulous I/O, it's got fabulous look, it's got really good performance, and you know, I can't knock it for those things. It just isn't perfect, and it could be. Steel keycaps would have made this feel a lot better. Something other than this scissor action keyboard would have made it feel brilliant. The screen can't be knocked. The screen is fantastic. It to me is as good as some of the Retina display stuff. It's really nice. It's not Retina display, but it's as nice as. It looks so rich, so vivid, and it's so large. Okay, the trackpad isn't bad. It's a bit fiddly. I could have done with being able to turn it off when I'm doing gameplay. The fact that there's USB on both sides is fine. USB 2, now, the USB-C, it does have a little power icon. Now, I've looked, and I've not been able to see if there's anything saying that that can be used to charge the unit up. If that could be used to charge it up, as opposed to using the custom power here, then I would be really happy. I don't know if that just means it's a powered USB port or not, because my Lenovo obviously has a USB-C power supply. It's not 230 watts as this is. It's a 43 watt. But they're different machines for a different purpose. This, as a gaming machine, is brilliant. If this is what you're going to get as a gaming machine today or at Christmas, to play Fortnite, to play PuBG, to play World of Warships, to play World of Tanks, to play any of the titles that are out at the moment, even Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it stands up and does a job. It's 1060. You can look at hundreds of different gameplays with 1060s. That's what it is. That's what it does. That's what it's for. But I've got to say that I do like this machine. I was just saying that there's not a mark on it. I've just noticed I've got a mark on the top here. These little niggles, and I've lived with them, and they still niggle me. So it's been months and they still niggle me, so they are there. The power supply is the biggest niggle. The keyboard is not so much because I can just go to, you know, better keyboards. I've got two in front of me now. So I've got, this is my iRock keyboard and I've got my Cherry Click keyboard there. I can just plug those other keyboards in. But that means I'm not taking that with me. It's more stuff to carry if I'm traveling. I do use the keyboard that's on it. Taking the mouse is by and by. It's fine. That is it. That's the whole mouse there. That's the whole thing. But yeah, connectivity wise, I didn't like the little door on the Ethernet, and that's where we're going to sit it. Battery life, power, storage. They're the three negatives. Everything else is pretty positive. I'll leave this here. This is sort of the start of a larger video, but I may post this on its own. If you did glean anything out of this, please let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, do like, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. If you're watching this on the item review, you can find me on YouTube as Lord Zealous, Xelous. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Bye bye.